Live and Rock is brought to you in part by ShifterMagazine.com, your source for entertainment news, reviews, and interviews. Plus, amazing resources and how-tos for the independent artists in you. Check them out at ShifterMagazine.com. It's another episode of Live and Rock, right? The show for creative soul.
Most artists cannot be comfortable stuck in one box. That's right.
And that's what this podcast is about. It's not just filmmaking, but creative pursuits in general.
The creative life, whether it's music, whether it's writing, whether it's painting, illustrating,
photography,
dancing, whatever it is.
Make some noise, rock the world before your time runs out. Let them know what you're about and just make some noise, rock the world no matter what your game. Make sure the whole world remembers your name. Make some noise, rock the world before my time runs out. You know what I'm about, I'ma make some noise, rock the world so when I'm out.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 20 of Live and Rock.
Rockin' live.
Yeah.
You didn't do it hype. Go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the creative show for creative souls, bringing you insight to the creative life. I am your boy, your man, your bro, CDH Live. And of course, I'm here with my bro,
Shel Rock, a.k.a. H.S. Lee.
Whoa.
A.k.a.
Yet
another alias. This one's going to be the last one, hopefully. I'll give you the background story on that still later on in this episode. Because this episode we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of what's going on with Live and Rock in our individual creative pursuits.
Yes, indeed.
Specific projects. We're going to really, really get transparent on this episode again. And shake things up, talk about Live and Rock the show, but also, as I alluded to, get into some of our individual personal projects, which is the origin and the reason behind HS Lee we'll get into. But as usual, we got to start this show doing what we always do, getting into some pop talk and having some lighthearted conversation to get both you and me warmed up.
Right.
I mean, I don't really need to be warming up so much. I mean, I'm always good to go. Like, I was born ready. Like,
well, I'm warm. Once you turn the mic on, I'm warm, so I'm good to go.
That's what you say.
Yeah, man.
That intro didn't sound warm.
Oh, jeez.
Welcome to episode 20.
I'm
Live and Rock.
I'm smoothing the path in for our listeners.
Yeah. Okay.
Making sure that they get a nice, warm introduction.
All right. Well, speaking of introductions, before we get into pop talk, we're going to do a TV timeout. Actually, you want to do any shout outs before we do that?
Yeah, let me shout out K Bourne, who gave us a nice, gave me a nice shout out recently.
Who's K Bourne?
K Bourne out in Ottawa, listener that is that I spoke to, a friend of mine actually.
Okay.
I haven't spoken to in a while.
Okay.
And it was good.
Do they have any kind of creative resume or thing that they do that we could check out, that I could check out?
Well, now that you made me,
drawing it
out. I was trying to keep it low key, but K Bourne is part of the Amavea Media family.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, they actually are the owners of Shifter Magazine.
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
And my management team.
Okay, cool. So, K Bourne, shout out to you by CDH Live.
Yes,
and,
indeed. And shout out to Desi D, who I'm hoping to get on another project soon that we're going to talk about later.
That's exactly what I wanted to get to. Yes. Say that again. Say it again.
We'll get back to it again, but Desiree Afrodelic, shout out to you because you're doing great stuff.
And you're going to get her on what?
Look, we can't put out things if we don't have them confirmed yet. So
okay, you don't have it confirmed, but the point is there's another project in the works.
Yes.
For CDH Live. And we want to get into that. I can't wait to get the feature conversation.
Yes, indeed.
To get the nitty-gritty on what's going on.
Yeah.
With CDH
Boy,
Live.
you're ready to dig in on something today I don't even realize what I'm getting into.
I've been really on a down downward emotional slump regarding the shows lately. So it's good to be excited again about a
true
particular
indeed.
episode.
Maybe you just need to lose yourself in the music.
True. Yes, that's right. I like what you did there. Speaking of that, losing yourself in the music, let's get lost into some creative talk. I mean, pop talk. Take
and
a
what
quick
is our
TV
feature
timeout.
conversation for today?
Feature conversation. I don't think we really have a title for it, but working title. What's up with Live and Rock?
All right.
And for now, let's get into some pop talk. Jeez, never let it go.
Dr. David Banner, physician, scientist, searching for a way to tap into the hidden strengths that all humans have. Then an accidental overdose of gamma radiation alters his body chemistry. And now when David Banner grows angry or outraged, a startling metamorphosis occurs. The creature is driven by rage and pursued by an investigative reporter.
Mr. McGee, don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
The creature is wanted for a murder he didn't commit. David Banner is believed to be dead, and he must let the world think that he is dead until he can find a way to control the raging spirit that dwells within him.
Yes. That's kind of how I've been feeling lately still.
Yeah, that was definitely a real throwback, man. I don't know how you found that, but
I've had that lined up. I have a library as long as the Nile right now of TV
good.
timeouts. But anyways, I digress.
yeah, I could make some parallels with that too. But yeah, what's up with Rock? What are you feeling right now, aside from the ups and downs?
What keeps
the rage from going
not
wild?
Living up to what I want it to be. Right now, to be honest, I'm not really taking anything like hardcore. The thing that I'm binge watching on Netflix is like a super old show, a cop show of all things. Rookie
What
Blue.
show?
You ever watch Rookie Blue?
Oh no, I never watched that show.
Okay, it's a pretty good show. I mean, I've been taking it in on. It's a Canadian show.
I was just gonna say, is that a Canadian
for
show?
our international listeners?
Yeah.
It's a Canadian cop show. So
They love Canadian shows, apparently.
Yeah, actually, that's why, to a certain degree, yeah, like they're Degrassi. They were trying to take Degrassi a couple of years back. What's his name? Aaron Spelling tried to get Degrassi from us.
Right.
Thank God that didn't work.
Yeah.
Because it's not the same. He would have gave it the... I was talking to somebody at work about this the other day, about how the new 90210...
There's a new reboot?
Oh my gosh. Where have you been?
Excuse me if I don't know about 90210.
It's not even really like new.
What
Because
do
it's
you
been
mean?
out for like at least 2 years already.
What?
But it is
Oh.
new in terms of
Okay,
like
wait.
not the
No,
90s 90210.
Okay, now that you mentioned it's out for 2 years, it sounds a bit familiar.
Yeah, it's been out probably more than 2 years.
Yeah,
should
but
pull it up.
it's
But it's
still on. Like they got an audience, I guess.
Yeah, you can see it on Netflix.
Okay.
Let me see.
It's like a whole brand new generation.
A whole new, brand new generation.
Yeah,
can't
I
believe
remember
this guy
hearing
doesn't-
something about that when it was coming out, but I wasn't really that interested.
Let me see. 2008. Yo, it's been out for a long time.
There you go.
2008,
And
yo.
This guy's like screaming at me like I'm not in the know. That was like almost 10 years ago.
No, but what I'm saying is
what?
I'm not saying I just discovered it now, or I'm not saying that it's new that it just came out now. I'm just saying
Okay.
it's not the old original 90210. So I'm
Yeah.
saying the reason why that 90210 came out when it did, the
Fine,
reboot, was
right.
because Aaron Spelling wanted Degrassi from us, from the
Okay.
Great White North,
Right.
and they were unable to come to a deal, or they just whatever happened, they were like,
Right.
"Nah, you're not getting it." So that was his way of filling the gap.
Okay.
And I'm glad he didn't get it.
True
Because
enough.
it would have been
Granted.
basically a Canadian 90. I
Yeah.
mean, he would have 90210 Degrassi, and Degrassi
Yeah.
is just not that vibe. Degrassi is more gritty, more
That's like they're
real.
doing. Oh God, I just saw an ad for Big Brother Canada.
Yeah. And
Is that new?
oh my god.
Remember, I don't watch cable. Okay, so
Wow. I'm starting to really realize just how much you don't watch cable. I can't believe you're actually saying that.
yeah,
You're
man.
serious. You don't know, guy.
The
Big
thing
Brother
that I
Canada
don't-
has been around for ages.
Here's my gripe: is
Okay.
that every time they take an American franchise
Yes.
and make a Canadian version, it always seems like it's just horrible. And I'm not a fan of Big Brother to begin with,
Okay.
but I just feel like when they do Canadian versions of those stuff, they're never
They
quite
never
as
do
good.
it justice. They
Yeah.
never do. They're just like carbon copies,
Yeah,
inferior carbon copies, I should say.
yeah.
Right?
It's I think it in some ways it's what's given some Canadian artists a bit of an inferiority complex, but it's good to see that in the last decade that has been changing for us.
This is ridiculous. I'm trying to find how long it's been on, but
Never mind that. What else are you feeling?
as far as arts and entertainment, I'm feeling I had this other. Oh, I was also watching the IT Crowd. You ever watch IT Crowd?
Yeah.
That's something that I'm actually feeling.
Oh, really?
I know another old show. I know.
Yeah.
Speaking of people living
I
under
haven't
a
watched
rock.
it in a long time.
So have you watched? So you haven't watched the entire series then?
No. I
Okay,
watched
how
like,
far would you say you've gone into it?
probably not a whole season. Just like maybe 6 random episodes.
Oh, random episodes. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, you have to take in that show. You have to take in that show like
Yo,
on Netflix. Like what?
I was gonna say if you're saying a show that you have to watch like that,
What?
I would say It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Guy, I watched that show. Like you just, I've watched maybe 2 episodes.
2
Random episodes, and it
That
it
is-
doesn't. I don't
that
know.
is
It
not-
doesn't speak to me at all. I can't.
Wow. But it depends on your sense of humor, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
But they're just like they're so like over the top, ridiculous. Like cartoon character, ridiculous.
Yes.
But they're real people, and it's just like, whoa.
That's why I can't get it. I don't know. For some reason, that's why I don't know. It just doesn't speak. You know what? I think I'll give it a try. I'm gonna give it a try again. I'll try watch it because
Yeah.
some shows you have to watch it from the beginning. You can't jump in the middle because you need
the context
you need
of the world and make sure that
you need to calibrate your mind and your
Yeah.
sense of humor and everything to
Yeah.
what they're doing and
Yeah.
to their tone and yeah. So I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
So maybe from that perspective, I should give it a try based on the fact that you're really.
Yeah, I haven't
Give
watched
it-
it in a while, but they have this, like, they strike out their own unique chord in comedy. It's
Yeah.
just like, wow, these guys.
You can definitely say that for sure as far as unique because yeah, me catching a random episode here or there, I was just like, this is just.
Yeah,
I'm
you have to
not
understand
like-
the characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Danny DeVito, seeing Danny DeVito in there, it's just
Yeah.
like it almost made me want to cry because I'm like, this is what he is fallen to. This is,
But
from
he's amazing in there, and he wasn't there at the beginning. They did.
Okay.
He came in like I think season 3 or something like that.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
but it's dope. My show just came back actually,
What?
and I've been binging on it.
Which show?
Season 4 of House of Cards.
Okay, I heard a lot of people are watching that still.
Yeah, I was not happy with season 3.
What is for me because I don't watch it and people have been telling me to watch it for ages. But just for me, what is the synopsis of House of Cards?
The synopsis is, as you know, is Kevin Spacey is the lead.
Yeah.
And it's just the compelling nature of his character and his absolute commitment to gaining and maintaining power with the presidency of.
So he's running for office to be the president.
Well, when you start at episode 1,
yeah.
he's a congressman or something like that.
Okay.
And you watch over their 2 seasons
Okay.
how he like it's political, but
Yeah.
it's also just like how he manipulates people in situations on a personal level.
Okay.
And it's like everybody's playing the same game, but he's
Yeah.
just like,
He's just light years ahead of everybody.
yeah.
Okay.
And it's not like he never fails.
Yeah.
But he's just
that brilliant at playing the game.
yeah.
In a lot of ways, it sounds like and reminds me of like Suits.
Yeah, a little bit,
In
but
how you're describing
obviously
him.
much higher stakes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you get to actually see how he, like, his rise to power to the presidency is one thing.
Okay.
But then seeing, what he does and what drives him after he actually becomes president, is just like a whole nother thing. And then now this season 4, they've intrigued me. I don't want to spoil it for anyone because it just came out.
Yeah.
So I'll hold my tongue on it. But
Yeah.
I like what's going on in season 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey is always been a top actor.
Yeah,
anyways,
he's one
so
of the
like,
best in the biz, right?
just based on him alone, you can imagine that it would be really good.
Yeah.
I was trying to think something else I was thinking that reminded me of. Man, when you're old, you can't even.
Talking about throwbacks, what do you think of this Fuller House?
Oh my God. Well, I shouldn't say "oh my God" in the sense of it's bad. I'm just saying I was never really a fan of Full House. Like,
Right.
To me, Full House was one of the cheesiest sitcoms
without question, hands
like,
down.
Like it was up. To me, it didn't grab my attention at all
Right.
at any point in life. Whether
Right.
I was a teenager, mid-20s,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it just. Bob Saget especially was like ridiculously cheesy to me. Like,
Yeah, of
it
course.
was just a little bit too wholesome. You know what I you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interestingly
So,
enough, have you seen his stand-up special?
I haven't seen his special, but I have heard how on the flip side, his stand-up act is ridiculously raunchy, and that
Yeah.
he's like the exact opposite of
Yeah.
his character on.
Yeah, I didn't really love his stand-up. I think I was able to get through maybe 15 minutes.
Okay.
But yeah, it's definitely not the
Not-
the Bob Saget from Full House.
For real. Or flipping, we call it America's Funniest Video.
Right.
Yeah. No, so Fuller House, I haven't really watched it. Don't really intend to watch it.
Yeah.
I've seen that it exists. I've seen on the screen. I've seen Grown Up DJ and Grown Up, all of them, and I seen them there. But nah,
Yeah.
not doing it for me. Not at all. No.
All right. If you get a chance, there's a clip with John Stamos on, I think it's Late Show with Seth Meyers.
Okay.
And he's reading the bad reviews from like all the newspapers.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. It's like
That's-
the words they use to describe how much they dislike it.
Really?
Yeah.
I was under the impression that people were loving it, or at least liking it, like
Well,
giving it the thumbs up that it's a good job.
I actually watched a few of them.
Okay.
So that's saying something that I sat through a few of them, because there's a lot of shows I check out and I can't finish one episode.
Okay.
So I thought it was very nostalgic,
Right.
and that was the main reason I was watching it.
But okay.
But go ahead.
You say you sat through the multiple episodes, and that's saying something. But did you sit through them willingly, or did you just push? Did you just
No, I
force
watched
yourself
them.
to watch them?
No, I'm
because you're just
saying-
like giving it a chance to try and see if it's gonna.
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I think it was like maybe 2 or 3 days where I was just like in the zone, and I would watch like 2 episodes a day or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rock, Storm, that's a lot.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it's all right.
Okay.
Without question, it's the cheesiest show ever created. But there's something about it that just feels warm and wholesome.
The nostalgia.
Yeah.
Like it feels like kind of. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like putting on an old sweater or old shoe or something like. Yeah. I feel you.
Yeah.
No, man. That's not my cup of tea. Mm-hmm. I would say what is my cup of tea.
Yeah.
Like I said, the IT crowd. I wanted to ask you about that. I've watched the entire series. Do you know if there's 2 versions? If there's like a UK version or an American version, or if it's just the one version, the UK version?
I only seen the one version, which is a UK
Okay,
version.
so all right. So yeah, I'm feeling. I was feeling that. I binge watched the entire series.
Wow.
And it finished so abruptly. I was sad. Like when it finished, I literally almost cried. Like
Really?
tears eye wire because I
Are
was
you kidding
loving
me?
it. Like loving it so much. Like it just gets better and better as every season goes on. It just gets better and
This guy's
better.
nuts. How many
So-
seasons are there?
Well, the way these UK people do it, their seasons are ridiculously short. Their seasons are like 5 or 6 episodes.
Oh, really?
A season. I don't even think on Netflix they refer to them as series.
Wow.
So that's the way they describe them.
Okay.
And I only think there's about 4 or 5
Okay.
quote unquote seasons.
Okay.
But each of them is literally like maybe 5 or 6 episodes.
Okay.
Right? But like I said, you got to go back and watch it from the beginning.
Okay.
Because it's one of those shows that it gets better and better as it goes on. But
Right.
part of the reason why it gets better and better as it goes on is because it has a lot of self-referential jokes. Like it will refer back to many things, right? That happened already on the show.
Okay.
Right? So it just kept getting better and better. And like I said, when it got to the end, I was like, I didn't even realize it was the last episode I was watching. I was just watching. I was like, yeah, enjoying my things. As a matter of fact, I got some food and I was like, came home from work. And I was like, all right, yes, time to back into the IT crowd.
Wow.
Watching the episode.
crazy.
I had watched half of the episode before I went to work. So I was just going back to start in the middle, finish that episode and continue on.
Okay.
The episode was done. And I'm like, there's no more. Literally no more. So I was just like, I was heartbroken, literally heartbroken, man. But yeah, you got to watch that. Another thing,
I may give it another chance.
the last thing I'm kind of feeling before we get into switching gears here is it's movie, obviously.
Okay. Well, not obviously.
Not obviously,
but
I didn't say that. But the movie Batman versus Superman. It's now
not
March.
even out yet.
Yo, 2 weeks.
Yeah, but
literally less than 2 weeks till it comes out. The trailer.
I can't believe you're putting that into what you're feeling and it's not even out yet.
Yo, because
Like, what do you like? How is it on your brain so much?
It's a perpetual feeling that because we've been waiting so long for it to come and now it's literally only less than 2 weeks.
Wow. So what? You have tickets already?
No, but I definitely plan to go watch it opening weekend. I won't necessarily say the actually open day because I already have what do you call it? I already have some engagements, some things I have to do on the day of, but definitely on that weekend I'm going to see it. And part of the reason I'm making it a date to see it is not only because I'm dying to see it as a hardcore fan, but because of my new project, which we're going to get into on this episode of Live and Rock, which is all about what me and you are doing. The blog.
Right.
So we'll get into that. So it's basically I got to do my homework and I got to be up to date on what's what. You know,
so you're actually getting to like claim it as work time.
Yes, exactly. Now you're feeling me. Yes,
I got you. That's
so
good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Batman versus Superman. That's gonna be on the books in the next week or two. You'll hear me talking about that. And I watched Deadpool the other day. I did a post about that, and again, we'll talk about that in the feature conversation.
Right.
But that's pretty much it for me. What I'm feeling like, what I'm really feeling right now is to go on to our next subject, empower the rest of our folks with stuff that they can use.
Yeah, I mean that's part of the reason why we do the show is so that we can empower our listeners, creative souls out there.
Yep.
So,
and you seem like you need some empowerment. So let's get into the section that we've named Suit Up. And for those of you who are new, this is where we give tips and tools for creatives like you to get what you need done, and hopefully be the next ones that we're talking about someday, ranting and raving about.
Indeed.
Getting CDH live, all excited. So I'm gonna play the music and we'll get into our Suit Up section, brought to you by
shiftermagazine.com.
I love it when
your
a plan
online
comes
source for articles, interviews, and how-tos for creative souls and influencers of all types. Shiftermagazine.com presents Suit Up.
Suit up! Suit up! Suit up! You suited up. Snow suit up. Flight suit up. Penguin suited up. Suit up. You suited up. Birthday suited up. Slut up. Suit up. Suit up. Suited up. Suit up. Suit up. Space suit up. Suit up.
Yes, this is the Suit Up section, and today, as every day, is brought to you by Shifter Magazine, independent online internet magazine for creative souls.
Yes.
That's there to inspire and entertain you, or empower you more than entertain you. And today for the Suit Up section, we're kind of playing it freestyle. We didn't really prepare in advance, and I have a few things I want to drop on CDH Live or listeners as well, but hopefully he'll get his juices flowing. So one of the things I wanted to do for Suit Up, put you guys onto a podcast that I mentioned in a few episodes back, but I never got to go into detail. So for those of you who are in the music business, or specifically trying to make it as rappers in the urban music business,
All right.
there's a
Speak to us. Speak to us.
There's a podcast called Microphone Check on NPR.
Right.
You can get it through this app, Spreaker app, if you are listening to us from Spreaker, which is our home base for Live and Rock Show.
Right.
But it is hosted by actually NPR, and it's called Microphone Check. And let me just, I got it right here. I just want to tell you what it is. CDH Live, you're the one that put me onto this. Basically,
Yes.
you want to break it down?
No, go ahead.
So Microphone Check is it's a hip hop podcast hosted by Ali Shaheed Muhammad,
Yes.
the DJ / producer of legendary
Called
Tribe
Quest.
Called Quest. He has a co-host. Her name is Franny Kelly,
That's right.
right? And they talk about hip hop. I shouldn't even say they talk about hip so much as they interview hip hop. They go in depth every episode with
Indeed.
an actual hip hop artist, both present day and pioneers to the game.
That's
I'm stressing mostly the pioneers,
Right.
because for me, this is why I'm recognizing the podcast.
People like
People like, okay, I'll show you the episodes. Large Professor, formerly of the group called Main Source, and probably a more popular name, Pete Rock,
Yes,
of Pete
indeed.
Rock and CL Smooth.
Yeah.
You have people like not LL Cool J, my bad. that was another one I have. Mr. Nas,
Yes,
NAS,
indeed. That's right.
right? The list goes on. You go even deeper than further back. Marley Marl,
That was
the
one of
original
the,
producer.
Yeah, one of the ones that hooked me in.
If you want to talk about, major superstar hip hop producers that hip hop producers, moguls who changed
Right.
the game. Today, they talk about these young kids know Dr. Dre and his big enterprise. And
They
his
had
big,
Manny Fresh.
yeah.
But Cash Money.
Yeah, but to go back to the producer thing, like how today people look up to Dr. Dre and think he's like the mogul, or there was a time when Puff Daddy was the man in hip hop
Right.
and producing all these. Marley Marl was that first mogul.
Right.
In his day, when it came to producers, he was the first producer hip hop that was like every rapper
True
wanted
indeed.
to be produced by him. So
Right.
these are the type of things you're going to get by listening to that show, and you're going to get insight to how the hip-hop industry started and how it grew from the inside out. And again, he does interview a lot of people from today too, like J. Cole, who's all these young rappers know, or young artists know J. Cole.
Yeah.
He interviews other people along that line. So yeah, that's
True
why I
indeed.
wanted to recommend that still.
Yeah, that's a definite good tool for suiting up. And along that lines, the suit up tip that I got for today is taking the time before you get into a creative zone.
Yeah.
We get into this practice of kind of just going right into a project.
Yeah.
But once in a while, probably more often than not, it's worthwhile to take a portion or a percentage of that beginning section to review the tools you have in terms of references.
Okay.
So you were talking about some of the creators, some of the pioneers of hip hop.
Yeah.
So whether you're making music or you're writing or you're, shooting photography, it's worthwhile to take a little percentage of your overall session to look at some of the pioneers or leaders within your genre, that you have a reference point to compare, not so much to compare, but to inspire you to strive for a certain quality of excellence.
Well, I mean, I would even go further to add to what you're saying and say it's not just to motivate you and inspire you. I say it's all of the above. It is to compare, yes, because you want to be able to. They set the mark. They're the bench. So you do want to compare to a certain degree and say, okay, this is what I'm striving to. So it's to inspire you. It's to compare. It's to motivate you. But it's also to educate you.
Right.
You know, you might learn things. That's why, obviously I recommended this podcast.
Very true.
When we recommend podcasts in our student section, that is the primary goal. Why we put them in our student section.
Right.
It's as a source of education for you in your particular field or that particular thing.
That's right. And when you do that, it's also with the perspective of reverse engineering or
true.
Focusing not so much on just enjoying what they're doing, but thinking about what they did to achieve it. How did they do it? What techniques did they use? What tools
strategies
might you have that you could use to accomplish a similar result?
What lessons can you take from them? What learns from their mistakes that you may not even know about that they mention? Or
how did they arrange the work? How did they? All of that.
What hacks can you get? What life hacks?
Yeah.
What career hacks?
There
You know
you
what I
go.
mean?
Yeah.
That save you some time and all of that goodness. Yes. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's all I got. I like you. I'm glad that you added that to it, Mr. CDH Live.
Yes.
That's what's a tag team effort. I love that.
That's what we do. That's what we do here on Live and Rock.
Yes, the show is called Live and Rock. And speaking of that, we are going to get into our feature conversation, which, ironically enough, this episode feature conversation is about what's up with Live and Rock. And it's a very layered title with a layered meaning that we're going to get into, including some shaking up that's going on with the show itself. So I think right about now it's time to do that. Let's just get into the feature conversation. What's up with Live and Rock on episode 20 of Live and Rock.
And we are rocking live.
All right.
Yes. We are now into our featured conversation for episode 20 of Live and Rock. What's up with Live and Rock?
Yeah.
This is so timely, so important for us to talk about, so layered. What's up with Live and Rock as in the show?
Yes.
The brand.
Literally.
But
in a literal sense, what's up with Live
But
and
what's
Rock?
up with Live, the person?
Yes.
And what's up with Rock, the creator,
the creator,
person,
yeah.
the artist. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are here to do what we set out to do, which is give you insight to the creative life. And we're going to start today with our own creative lives. So, where do we begin?
So you mentioned two different sides to that coin. Live and What's Up with Live and Rock, the show.
Right.
And then What's Up with Live and Rock, the individuals, me and
Right.
you. So let's start with the first side of that coin.
Right.
The show. Live and Rock, the show. You're looking at me.
Yeah. Of course I'm looking at you.
So does that means I'm going to start it. Is that what it is? Okay. So Live and Rock, the show.
Let me give some context real quick, because I know you're going to go a bit further ahead.
Okay.
But for those of you who are maybe new listeners or just tuning in for, the last few episodes.
Yes.
Live and Rock. We're at episode 20, and we started around this time last year was when we started talking about the concept of Live and Rock.
Well, the first time we actually just got together to brainstorm on doing something. We had no idea we were going to do a show.
Right.
But March 2015 is when we said, let's take a day, get together as brothers, and let's just put our heads together and brainstorm on doing something together, figure out something.
Exactly.
Yes.
So for those who are listening, thinking, okay, really, who are these guys, and what exactly is Live and Rock? What should we say to them?
From the show perspective?
No,
individuals?
that's what. See, that's the whole thing. Is that there may be someone listening thinking, I'm lost. I don't know what's up with Live and Rock. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts? What are you thinking?
Okay, so Live and Rock is a show, as it is right now, is a show that was created by two individual brothers who are both creatives pursuing creative careers.
In completely different...
completely different fields.
Right.
So you, CDH Live, thus being the live part of Live and Rock, you have been pursuing music primarily.
Right.
Up until the start of the show, when we first started the show, that your main focus was music.
That's true.
As a recording artist, going by the name of CDH Live.
Right, which we'll get into more later.
Right. My primary focus, and again, sorry folks, that's his primary focus. There's many other things that he does creatively and that he does, but I'm just saying primary focus was music.
Right.
Likewise, me, Shel Rock, the rock part of Live and Rock, I was pursuing primarily and focusing primarily on my writing career at the time that we started this podcast.
Right.
Specifically in genre fiction, i.e. Sci-fi, superheroes, and modern fantasy.
Right.
My writing name obviously is not Shel Rock. Shel Rock is just a throwback to my personal music days,
right.
The years and decades I spent as a recording artist. MC Shel Rock is the name I use, so that's why.
Right.
But as far as things go, that's Live and Rock.
Okay.
So in our effort to do something that would encourage us on a more frequent basis, because at the time we started this show, we had yet to achieve large commercial success to where it's paying the bills,
right?
And whatnot in our own separate journeys. And in fact, is more than that. We're actually at a stage of kind of discouragement, about our journey,
right?
And in an effort to sustain and continue forward pursuing what we're doing, we wanted to find something that we can do on a more consistent basis,
right?
Weekly basis, if possible. That would allow us to flex our creative muscles and put something out that's completed and get feedback on a regular basis,
right?
As opposed to those long-term, lofty, almost seeming like pie in the sky goals of, achieving the career, right? In addition to that, we also wanted to find a way to encourage not only ourselves but other people, other creatives indeed, that are going through the same struggle.
That was something that we shared very strongly in common.
Yes.
Yeah, the desire to empower and inspire others along their journey as well.
Yes. So, long story short, through a convoluted process of randomly meeting up with each other over over a period of, I would say, roughly a month to 2 months,
right,
here and there, and brainstorming and talking to each other, because we are brothers,
right?
So we talk a lot outside of the show.
Yeah.
We eventually stumbled upon the idea of doing a podcast.
Right.
Thus, Live and Rock was born.
Indeed.
Mind you, the format of Live and Rock was never wholly, it was sort of like a lump of clay when we started. The very first episode we recorded was not necessarily the finished product. It was like, we have an idea, so let's just start working with this clay and see what happens, and we'll mold it over time and figure out what it's gonna be, shape it, and
And funny enough, part of this "What's Up with Live and Rock" from a show standpoint, is that we are constantly molding.
Yes.
Until it becomes exactly what it ought to be.
Yes. So we're definitely grateful.
Yes.
That we've reached 20 episodes. We've definitely grown a lot since the first episode.
Right.
We've had so much feedback, both in person and online. There's so much about the show that we're enjoying and we can be happy about. The progress is definitely tangible and literal and real, you know?
Right.
But as you just said, it's a show that, you know, we were molding from day one. It wasn't set in stone. And if you have listened with us from day one,
right.
or if you've just gone back and listened to earlier episodes and jumped back and forth, you'll see that there is definitely a sort of a chameleon thing going on. It's not exactly the same show, you know, from episode to episode, or more accurately, month to month or season to season.
Right.
You know, and to that point, the audio show pretty much, I feel like it's kind of become everything that we want it to be in terms of format.
Yeah, I've definitely been loving the audio show, and I feel like we're in a nice groove with the audio show. I've never really had much concerns about the audio. I think you're doing an amazing job on it.
Up until
aside from technical difficulties.
Dun dun dun. There is a lot of technical difficulties, and over the last 5 episodes, I'll just put it out there from my perspective, pretty much from the last episode of 2015 right up until today.
Right.
The technical difficulties have been atrocious.
Yeah.
From my perspective,
right.
As the, I guess, executive producer of the audio show.
Right.
Right. You are the executive producer of the video show, and we're gonna get into that as far as format. But
here's an interesting thing, though. We could probably spend this whole episode talking about the show, because we talk about it every Monday night.
Yes, yeah.
And we spend more than an hour every Monday night talking about the show. But I want to point out something. When we started this show, it was really just a side project.
Right.
Like it wasn't supposed to be either one of our main thing that we do or that we're known for.
Yeah.
And yet, very important. As I look at my phone or my email, every single day we're getting more Twitter followers, we're getting more views and subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
And we got this, partnership with Shifter Magazine.
Yes.
None of that was planned.
Right.
When we started this show.
Yes.
We just decided we had enough to start doing something.
Yeah.
And so what we haven't really done in any real in-depth way is talk about what we are actually pursuing as individual artists and some of the real-time challenges that we're having in our creative pursuits.
Real-time creative pursuits. That's the key word. Real-time.
Yes.
Because we've mentioned many times about other stuff we're doing, but they're always just like a side note mention or talk about, we did this in the past or I did that in the past. But we've never really in-depth talked about current projects, current struggles and pursuit that we're doing. Yeah.
So let's talk about that.
But before we talk about it, I just want to put context for listeners.
Oh, yes.
So, what's up with Live and Rock the show is that due to a lot of things, including the technical difficulties, string of technical difficulties we've had over the last little while, we've come to a place where we've decided that for the next little while, indefinitely, we're going to shift focus on the Live and Rock show to let it be a little bit more about Live and Rock, the individuals, our individual pursuit.
That's right. Which is actually going to give that insight that we always talk about.
Yes.
On an ongoing basis.
That's correct. If you are not new and you've been listening to the show for a long while, you will know that our feature conversations primarily have been consisted of one of two things or both. They've always been either a topic-based conversation on a particular subject that creatives struggle with, whether it be facing failure or trying to figure out how to focus or diversify or whatever.
Right.
Or we're interviewing, or sorry, we have a guest on the show.
Right.
In the best case scenario, we have both. We have a topic and we have a guest.
Right.
We're not going to get into all that right now, but suffice it to say, a lot of different things have happened, especially in the last 5 weeks.
Yeah.
That have caused us to do some self-evaluating and come to this particular place where, as of right now, for the next little while, our feature conversations on Live and Rock are going to be particularly shift focused to be talking about Live and Rock and our present day, real time, current projects that we're working on.
Right.
Yes. Sort of like a weekly update.
Very,
or
very,
reality
very true.
show. Yeah.
Yes. So, yeah, we're actually really looking forward to this shift because it's going to give you that perspective of real creators and real time challenges in 2016
Yes.
that we are facing in different industries. And we may, talk about our collaborations with others,
Yes.
Opportunities that we've, walked into or
Yes.
had to walk away from, and just give you that real-time perspective that sometimes it's hard to get if you're not connected to a lot of other creatives.
Yes. And this is nothing new. I mean, there's tons of podcasts out there that already do this. One that I'm listening to is I can't remember what it's called, but something indie publishing adventure. These couple UK guys who are publishing books, and they just week to week talk about their literal journey of that week.
Right.
How work was and the obstacles they faced.
Yes.
I put you on to Sam and Jim Go to Hollywood.
Right.
Again, another real time.
But nobody's journey is quite like Live and Rock. So you guys are in for something that is completely unique in terms of the two brothers on different creative paths coming together on a regular basis to share the journey.
So let's go. Let's do that. Let's get into sharing the journey.
All right. So, I mean, I'm excited about sharing what I'm doing, but I'm going to restrain myself because otherwise I'll take over the show.
No. We'll just start right there. CDH Live, your current project that you would like to talk about on an ongoing basis on Live and Rock. What is it?
Well, to put it in context,
yes,
I'm in many ways, they always say people wear many hats.
Yes.
I consider myself a bit of a juggler.
Okay.
Because I'm juggling a few different things. So, as an artist,
yes,
I am working on new material for a new recording release.
Really?
Well, this is a long-term project that's actually been in the works for a while. So we'd have to talk more about that specific project later.
I would like to. What is the project called? Do you have a title for it?
There is a tentative title, but I'm not going to tell you that just yet because it might change.
What about the music genre?
Wow, you're actually giving me like interview style questions.
No, because I'm like, this is what it is. This is what the show is going to be about. Right. I want to get in depth. We'll take some time not only for you to share what your week's been like, but we'll literally brainstorm on air.
Right.
You'll share ideas.
So I'll definitely share
each
that.
other's other brain.
But I want to give some context to this first.
Okay.
So there's as an artist working on a recording project.
Yes.
And I'm committed to putting on an event at the end of this summer.
Okay.
Which I haven't done for a few years. I used to do an event called True Experience.
Okay.
That I did for 4 years straight.
Okay.
And then I stopped producing my own event for that, and I just focused on being booked for other events and helping people put events together.
Okay.
Which leads me to the other thing I'm juggling, which is my production company.
Okay.
So my production company is primarily focused on providing production services in video, graphics, and web design.
Yeah.
And so we help artists, entrepreneurs, small businesses, nonprofit organizations, and help them to make sure that their branding is visually intact, that they can have compelling online content, press kits, all those essentials to really make it to the next level.
Some of those things that they need to be suited up with to make it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm juggling those two things as my, long-term focus, as well as some ideas I have in the back pocket, and of course Live and Rock, and the spin-off that you and I discussed last week or so.
Yes. Called what?
So it's going to be called, well, tentatively,
yes,
it's going to be called Conversations with Craig, where we're going to spin off to do more long-form, in-depth conversation-style interviews with creators of all types.
Okay.
And this is a video show because that's my background. I love video production, and that's where my heart is at.
So it's a
lot of stuff.
Yes, video web series.
Yes, video web series.
Okay, I'm glad you said a lot of stuff, because that's exactly where I want to start. Is where my first initial feedback was going to be. So,
just before you jump in, diving into me, we got to give some context of what Shel Rock is up on. What's up with Shel Rock?
Wait.
And then we can go.
No, because this is very potent to what you just said.
Okay.
So a lot of stuff you said, right?
Yes.
So you definitely part of accomplishing the results you want is having focus. This is something that I've learned reluctantly a lot from you over the last year of doing Live and Rock.
Right.
It's one thing that you've been, trying to hammer into me is about being focused versus being all over the place or diversification.
Right.
And you're heavy on the pro focus side, right?
Right.
So in context of Live and Rock show and giving something that listeners can tune into every week to catch up on what's going on with Live.
Right.
Out of the things you mentioned there, two things excite me.
Okay.
One, the conversations with Craig.
Okay.
The video web series.
Yeah.
Because it's a tangible, content heavy project that listeners or viewers, can tune into week to week. Well, not week to week, but they can tune into and get valuable, entertaining content.
Right.
The flip side to it why it gets me excited is because it ties directly into your other passion, which is CDH Live Productions, which you said is a production company that provides services for creatives who are trying to make it.
Right.
And we've touched on this in our offline conversation, but it excites me the fact that, listen, if you were to just focus on, let's say, those two things, right? Focus on the show, the video show. A lot of the people you're going to be interviewing or seeking to interview are people who could actually use your CDH Live production services in one way or another. Right. So in a lot of ways, by focusing on the show, you could be building building up a clientele, if you will, and a network of clientele for the actual production company along at the same time. And even if let's say, people you interview don't use your services right away in one way, shape, or form, they'll know people who may need it.
Well, like you're 100% accurate in what you're saying. These types of thoughts rarely do not occur to me because I'm constantly thinking about how I can do things. And to use your word, FODI, I focus my diversification.
Yes.
So everything that I am working on, as diverse as it may seem, they are all related and interconnected.
Yeah.
So definitely, I think I think about that. I have thought about that, and I believe it will definitely attract more clients.
Yes.
But it's not the primary reason that I'm doing it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right.
Definitely not the primary reason. But I guess
the other thing too about it is that it's not going to be a weekly series.
Right.
At this point, I haven't decided the frequency.
Yes.
But it's definitely not going to be weekly. That's just the schedule for that is just way too heavy.
Yeah. That being said, though, I feel like, again, just being objective. Is it objective, or maybe I'm not objective? Maybe I'm biased. But as an observer of you, as a creative, and working alongside you, I feel like I almost like want to push you and give you that creative challenge to push yourself to do it more, what's the word, aggressively. Like, of all the things you mentioned on your list of stuff, right?
Yeah.
It just seems to me like pursuing this video show, Conversations with Craig,
Yeah.
is the thing that's most, it has the most, it seems to be, has the most potential for immediate gratification and reward, both creatively and economically. Because it seems to me like it scratches that itch of you as being a film producer or whatever, right? And it allows you to showcase your top talent in that area, which is one of the things that we've been discussing, that you feel like the Live and Rock videos are not really showcasing your best work.
Which is one of the reasons why two things that brings up.
Yeah.
One of the reasons we're doing it as a spin-off
Yes.
is because I wanted to increase the production value
quality,
for the video side of it.
Yeah.
The Live and Rock video show, I haven't said it on air before, but it doesn't represent the way that I produce things from my business side.
Exactly.
CDH Live Productions. So I wanted to do something that's more representative of that. And in general, that takes a little bit more time. And so that's the reason why it's not going to be necessarily a weekly thing.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean that I'm not going to be doing it consistently and regularly.
Yes.
I'll be working on that project every week.
Yes.
But I won't necessarily be releasing a new one every week.
Right.
Yeah.
So, in the interest of time, because we are running out of time,
let's
I will
hear
mention.
what's
I will end that. My last thing that I would say on that is that I'm definitely going to be encouraging you, pushing you, putting it out there to maybe possibly release one a month. When we can talk about that later, but I'm just putting it out there. That's where I see it. That's where I see it being a sweet spot.
That's the goal. Is about once per month.
Yeah,
and I guess this is a bit of behind the scenes, so it's not an official announcement if anyone's looking for it once a month.
Yeah.
But that's the goal that I'm looking for. It's about once per month.
Yeah.
And eventually, as I get used to the flow of it, then the frequency will increase.
Definitely.
Because it will just flow.
Yeah.
And of course, I'll build a little bit of a crew to do it with.
Yeah.
But I've already recorded the first one.
I'm so glad you said that, because I was just about to say that.
Yeah,
I'm glad to know that you've actually, you're already on it.
And the thing is, it's like, it's a work of love.
Yeah.
Right. It's just something that I love to do. I love talking with other creators and getting in depth into their mind, into their brain and their process. And hearing their stories and their journeys. And this is that opportunity to do it, and I love being able to film it.
Yes.
And film it in a creative way that makes them, that frames them in a perspective for others to appreciate, even if they never heard of the person.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about doing it. It's definitely built on a lot of the other things I've done, like CDH Live TV.
Yeah.
And of course the Live and Rock show.
Yeah.
But this is going to be a more true and accurate vision.
Yeah.
Being expressed.
That's why I'm excited about it. I can't wait. Yeah.
So it is. That's going to be consistent. I would say you can expect the first one probably sometime in April.
Okay.
Yeah.
So next episode, we're definitely going to get an update and we get more in depth of the progress so far. Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect.
And I could easily go along more. But the production company is also a major thing, because the production company actually helps me in my day-to-day existence.
Right.
Because the day job is only so much, and so if I don't have production clients, I feel it.
Yeah.
So that's important for me to keep growing, and I love being able to help people with that branding and that visual excellence of presenting their product or service, or their creativity. But like I said, I'll easily hijack the show, so stop hiding.
Well, here's a segue for you. I, with any luck, I may need your services in branding and promoting and whatnot for what I'm doing. You know, as I start to see success, if I can see success, hopefully, then you never know. Maybe sooner than we think.
Okay,
I'll be tapping or knocking on the CDH Live Productions door.
Well, one thing I mentioned in our last Suit Up section was mastering your marketing material.
Yes.
So from a production company standpoint, I've been realizing that every client I sit down with, no matter what their request is, the bigger need is that they need marketing material.
Exactly.
And they don't know how to master that stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm the world's greatest, but I'm a few steps ahead of the ones that are coming to me. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm actually in the process of putting together a new campaign to really get people who have the talent, have the product or the service, and they just need the materials to make sure that they're aware that CDH Live Productions is here for all of that. Even if they need to start with just a logo, business card, website, to the music video, whatever it is that they need, that CDH Live Productions is here for them.
Yeah.
It's going to be exclusive, though, I should say.
I don't understand what that means, but we'll get into that in the next episode. Still, yeah. So that's what's up with Live.
Yeah. So
as of March 6th, March 7th,
what is on Rock's plate that you might potentially be needing those kinds of services?
Well, I should say everyone. For the most part, I said I'm a writer. That's what I was focusing on when we started Live and Rock the show.
Right.
But I've been focusing on collaborating with other people.
Okay.
So when we started the show, I had published 2 books.
Okay.
Which is a sole project that just requires me, right?
Right.
And that took a lot of time in my life. It took about 2 years or a year and a half of my life, right? So when I was done those 2 books, I spent the next 2 years-ish just focusing on trying to collaborate with other people on my next project, because I hate the process of just doing things by yourself. It's nice having someone to help you on every aspect, you know, when you get through those emotional slumps, those psychological days, you just don't want to do it financially, creatively. Like, it's always nice to have other people, right?
Yeah.
So I spent a lot of time just trying to collaborate.
Okay.
And after about a year and a half of doing that, or close to 2 years, I finally come to the place where I need to go back to just me again.
Wow. It's kind of interesting you say that. We're going to hear more, but it's interesting you say that, because I think that collaboration is part of why Live and Rock has been steadily growing.
Yes, it is.
Because we're doing it together, and we're feeding off of each other's energy and drive.
Yeah. And that's what I really want. Ultimately, that is my goal, is to be kind of like permanently collaborating, involved with teams and projects with other people in comic books, in web series, TV, whatever. That's my ultimate goal.
Okay.
Because I'm a storyteller and a writer. That's my primary creative function.
Right.
But because I spent so much time over the X amount of years focusing on trying to collaborate, all the many projects that I've started that they haven't, for one reason or another, they haven't come to fruition.
Okay.
And I'm just getting frustrated, or have been getting frustrated.
Okay.
Primarily dealing with illustrators. I haven't been able to lock down an illustrator, because all my stories are modern fantasy / superhero fiction.
Right.
So my medium of choice would be comic books.
Right.
But I just had a hard time being able to lock down illustrators and get that right relationship, that right project, that right circumstance that pans out in the end.
Right.
And I've mentioned some on the show already, and you've heard about different ones that I'm excited that are coming, super years and all that, and they just end up flopping.
Right.
So all that to say that as of probably about a month ago, I decided just to go back to basics and
Okay.
focus on writing myself, just by myself, and doing so through the means of a blog.
Right.
And showcasing my writing skills, both fiction and nonfiction, through means of a blog. I started a blog
Right.
called Space Love Superheroes.
Yeah.
The blog is primarily basically a blog about my passion for all things sci-fi, fantasy, and superheroes in every medium.
Is
But
this your
also-
only blog?
My only blog? Yes, it's my only blog.
Because I recall a recent post you had, which was more about race and gender in arts and entertainment.
Right. So the blog post itself, that was the title of the. Well, that wasn't the title of the post. It was about the Oscars. Oscars so white.
Right.
So what? That was the official title.
Right.
So the blog post itself was really about nerd movies
Okay.
and Hollywood's race representation in Hollywood movies for nerds. That's really what the
Okay.
blog post was about.
Okay.
But I used the Oscars so white as a jumping off point, a
Okay.
catalyst
Okay.
for sparking that conversation and that subject.
Okay.
Right? So yeah, the actual blog itself, or the site, is called Space Love Superheroes. It's pretty much a personal blog about all things Space Love Superheroes, my passion for it.
Okay.
But it's also about sharing my passion or my journey as a creator
Okay.
who's pursuing a career
Right.
in that field, right?
Okay.
So you're gonna get both sides of the coin if you tune in or read the blog or visit the blog site.
Okay.
I forgot where I was going with that. But I mean, yeah. So one of the things why I started the blog and why I'm going to focus on it, that was where I was going with it. Focus. There we
Yeah.
go. That's back to track. So my thing is like, yeah. So by bringing things down to basics and just focusing on me
Okay.
and doing the blog, I'm able to do something that is 100% in my control. It's
Right.
just Shel Rock, or
Right.
my writing name, my author name, H.S. Lee.
Right.
No one else can take away or
I like
delay
that, by the
or
way.
what?
H.S. Lee.
Oh yeah,
Sounds on point.
it is. Yes,
But yeah, carry on.
yeah. The name, by the way. You have any thoughts of where the name?
Well, the only
Any
thing
possibilities?
is that it immediately makes me think of Stan Lee.
Yes, yes.
So H.S. is Henry Shell.
Yo, you're smarter than you look, eh?
This guy's big. Anyway, I'll let it slide because
Yeah,
I want to
yeah,
make sure
yeah,
the
yeah,
rest
yeah.
of your context comes out.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Because that way we can hold you accountable as we start moving
Well,
forward.
yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. That's why I'm excited about this new format, because
Okay.
really and truly, context-wise, if we talked about this format of What's Up with Live and Rock and making the show focus on that,
Yeah.
even as early as, let's say, 2 months ago,
Yeah.
end of December 2015,
Right.
I would not be excited and borderline not even willing to shift the Live and Rock show that way, simply because I really didn't have any project
Right.
that I could say is like a long-term or a rich, meaningful project that I'm actually working on. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right. And
But-
go ahead.
Yeah, that would require any kind of weekly talking about or sharing or whatever.
Right.
But now, because I've started this blog and it's a focused thing,
Yeah.
and it's a long term,
Right.
I literally have something that I'm working on every day, not every day, every week,
Right.
that has a long-term goal, and it's very specific to who I am as my
Right.
creative identity. That's the other thing.
Right.
Like, it's all about me and my writing and showcasing both sides of it. And
Right.
that's what I want to I want to spend the next year building
Right.
on. Yeah.
I think that's dope. It completely matches what you're talking about in terms of everything. So I won't repeat
Yeah.
it, but yeah, that project part of it is, I think, something we were both lacking in the past couple of months, just because we had been so shell shocked.
Yes.
from some of our previous projects not going quite the way we wanted them to.
Yes.
And feeling like, we needed to recalibrate. On an individual basis.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I honestly can say, when we started Live and Rock, there was no real Live and Rock. I mean, not Live. There was no real Shel Rock, the writer, projects that I was doing. I was still trying to find all of 2015 was still trying to find that place I'm gonna land. You know what I mean? As a writer,
right?
Yeah.
Now, just curious, is there any reason why you don't use the same Shel Rock as a writer, or why?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because just plain and simply, Shel Rock for me doesn't sound like an author name. Like it's really it's an MC name. Like it's Shel Rock. It's my MC name.
Okay.
I mean, others may beg to differ, but that's just my perspective.
So I guess we'll probably get much more in depth on that when you do a Conversations with Craig.
I like. Okay. Yeah. I see what you did there, and I like it. Yeah. I you could put me down for an episode of Conversations with Craig.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. That's a perfect. I think that's almost a perfect way to end this episode of Live and Rock.
Wow.
Because we've come full circle. Mm-hmm. Ending on the project, your brand new project.
Yeah.
Conversations with Craig.
Right.
With one of many guests, Mr. H.S. Lee, a.k.a. Shel Rock.
Right.
Writer and sole proprietor of Space Love Superheroes, the blog.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that is what Live and Rock, for a big chunk for the next little while, is going to be all about. Those two brothers, two creative souls, and those two creative journeys on those two creative projects. We'll touch on other things, but really, you're going to tune in week to week and get an update and get in-depth knowledge on what it's like and progress of.
So just to give some context.
And by the way, we have less than 5 minutes.
Right. To give some context to the journeys, how can we define milestones for Shel Rock?
Yes. Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah.
Well, because we have less than 5 minutes, I thought we're get into all of those things on the next episode, because that's what this is about.
Okay.
So it's literally every episode we want to talk about all these things.
Okay.
Let's talk about some milestones. Have you reached any this week? Have you set any milestones this week?
Right.
What have you
What's
come
worth
up
celebrating? What was a roadblock that was caused you to have to change or shift your approach?
Get into some nitty gritty questions, like, did you come up with a name for the show yet? Did you come up with a format, or have you found an official location for Conversations with Craig? That type. We're getting to all those kind of things week to week. Those are the type of things I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that sounds good, man. It's definitely got me excited for the next episode.
Yes.
And I hope you guys listening are also excited for it.
While we're on it, since we're here, I'm going to plug my last post, Courage in the Name of Love. That was my last post.
On what site?
Space Love Superheroes. You want to check it out. It's a super quick post, but basically it's a motivational post for Motivational Mondays, because we recorded this on Monday for those of you listening.
Right.
You might get this on a different day, but yeah.
Yeah, that's a Motivational Monday at
spacelovesuperheroes.wordpress.com. And I know you're gonna comment on that .wordpress to me. I know you're gonna have something to say about that.
So when you're ready to get a domain name, the reason liveandrock.com, where you guys can find us, is because I'm very, very passionate about people having
proper domain names and all that.
So if you want more support with that, Shel Rock,
yes,
check out cdhlive.com.
All right,
and be inspired by the sound of the artist, or enter the company for all of your production service needs.
Actually, I'm going to need your help, because I do intend to go full Monty and take your advice and get the domain name for the blog and eliminate the .wordpress. But I'm going to need your technical expertise once I do that. So yeah, like I said, full circle. We're doing it right now, live on the show. Stay tuned for the updates and the progress of this journey, folks, on the continuing episodes of Live and Rock.
Yeah, it was a fitting episode 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, before we go, how are we going to end the show? What do we like to tell people to do?
Well,
Hit
we
us
always
up
like
at
to
Twitter.
shout out Milo Flex.
True.
We always like to shout out Stubbs.
Yes.
We always like
2 minutes. Sorry.
We always like to remind people to check out shiftermagazine.com.
Yes.
And if you want to find Live and Rock, go to liveandrock.com
or tweet us. Yes.
at Live and Rock.
Yeah. And other than that, this show is a wrap.
Indeed. It's 2016, ladies and gentlemen. So we say, whether you're ready or not, if you're going to live,
you might as well rock.
Whatever it is.
Make some noise, rock the world before your time runs out. Let them know what you're about and just make some noise, rock